Welcome to the It Factor. We're Jemmy and Nye, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY, offering network management, voice over IP or VoIP, and UKS, cybersecurity, compliance, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure solutions. If you're a small business owner or manage IT for a growing organization, this deep dive is for you.
It absolutely is. And that intro was a mouthful of acronyms, so let's quickly unpack what we're talking about.
Good idea.
So voice over IP is simply your phone service delivered over the internet. Then you have UKS, which you'll hear as UCaaS, that just bundles your phone with all your other tools like chat and video.
Okay, got it.
And EKS is basically renting your computing resources like virtual machines instead of buying and managing all the hardware yourself.
That helps a lot, thanks. So today we're diving into their article 6 for 2026, Simple Tech Resolutions for the New Year.
Yeah, and the mission here is, well, simple but really important. We're moving past those huge, dramatic tech overhauls.
The ones that never seem to get finished?
Exactly. Instead, we're focusing on adopting simple, repeatable habits that actually stick. The promise, as the article puts it, is fewer headaches.
Which I think every business owner can get behind. We all make these huge New Year's resolutions for our business, but if they're too ambitious...
You will abandon them by March.
Right. So the whole idea here is manageable improvements that fit into real life. Quiet, consistent success.
That phrase, quiet success, really is the theme for all 6 of these resolutions. It's about reducing risk through repetition. If it's manageable, it becomes a habit.
Okay, let's get into the first one. It's about digital sprawl. Review access, not just passwords. And we've all been told for years to change our passwords. Why is access more important?
Because passwords are the front door, but access. Access is all the keys to the rooms inside the house. A great password doesn't matter if an old, forgotten account is still active.
But this is about digital decluttering.
Precisely. It's like trimming down a giant, messy keyring until you only have the keys you absolutely need. The principle of least privilege.
That sounds like a really tedious project, though. I mean, for a small business owner who's already swamped.
It might seem that way, but it stops risks that just changing a password misses entirely. Think about it. A contractor finished a project 6 months ago. You disabled their main login, but...
Do they still have access to a shared drive?
Exactly. The article points to 3 things. First, just eliminating old accounts. Former employees, old software trials, that sort of thing.
Right. An attacker only needs one forgotten door.
Second is reviewing shared or service accounts. These are the ones that, run in the background for tools and integrations. They are prime targets because no one ever logs into them to change the password.
They're invisible, but they have all the power.
And the third point is just checking permissions that have grown over time. People change roles, they get new access, but they rarely lose the old permissions. Suddenly your intern can see HR files.
Okay, that makes sense. It's a bigger risk than just a weak password.
A much bigger risk.
So, moving on to communication. Resolution 2 is treat email like a system, not just a tool. We all just see email as this reactive thing, right? What does treating it like a system mean?
It means focusing on prevention. Email is the #1 way attackers get in. But most of these problems are, believe it or not, preventable. You just have to treat the mailbox like a core business system with its own rules.
So looking past the inbox and into the plumbing behind it.
That's a perfect way to put it. The first practical habit is to review your mailbox rules and forwarding settings. Attackers love to set up a hidden forwarding rule to steal your data, and you'd never even notice.
Wow. A quick check of those settings could stop a data leak cold.
It could. The second thing is just building that habit of pausing. Pausing before you click a link or open an attachment, even if it looks like it's from someone you know.
Building that muscle memory of skepticism.
Yes. And finally, just making sure you're using the protections you're probably already paying for in something like Microsoft 365. You don't want to pay for the same thing twice.
Okay, good advice. So we've covered prevention. But what if something does go wrong? That brings us to resolution 3. Make backups boring and predictable.
Absolutely. The philosophy here is if your backup process is exciting, something has already gone terribly wrong.
Right. You only want to think about it when you're doing a routine check.
Exactly. And to get that boring reliability, there are 3 steps. First, make sure your backups run automatically. If a human has to do anything,
It'll get forgotten.
it will fail. Second, and this is the one most businesses miss, you have to occasionally check that you can actually restore the data.
Oh, that's a big one. The false sense of security. The little green light is on, but the files are corrupted.
We've all seen it. And third, you need to protect your data from more than just device failure. Think about accidental deletion or malware. That means having an offsite or an immutable copy that can't be touched by a live attack.
You want a plan so reliable that nobody has to think about it.
That's the goal.
That focus on quiet background health leads right into Resolution 4. Keep devices quietly healthy. We tend to just push through the slowness until a machine dies, don't we?
We do. We wait until it's painful, which is always too late and more expensive. The key habits here are 1. Apply your updates, your operating system, your applications. They aren't just for new features, they're critical security fixes.
I'm so guilty of hitting Remind Me Tomorrow on those update pop-ups.
We all are. That's why it needs to be a scheduled habit. 2. Plan to replace devices before they become painful. Budget for it. Rotate workstations every 3 years or so before they get slow and unstable.
So viewing replacement as a planned investment, not an emergency expense.
Precisely. And lastly, watch for trends. If a few people complain about slowness, that's not an individual problem. That's a sign of a bigger issue with your infrastructure that you need to address proactively.
Okay, that makes sense. Now for Resolution 5, which is about the world outside your own office. Know which vendors touch your data.
Yeah, this is a huge one today. Every business uses third-party tools, cloud platforms. It's totally normal, but awareness is critical.
Your data isn't just on your server anymore.
Not at all. It's in your CRM, your payroll system, your cloud storage. You have to know which vendors have access, what level of access they have, and how to cut that access off quickly if you need to.
So it's about maintaining an inventory of who has the digital keys.
Exactly. And knowing who to contact if one of those vendors has a security breach. That awareness is key to managing your own risk.
All right, finally we get to Resolution 6, and this one sounds a bit intimidating. Create or review incident response and disaster recovery plans.
It sounds serious, but it provides real peace of mind. And we need to separate the two concepts. Incident response, or IR, is the fire extinguisher. It's what you do right now to stop an attack.
Contain the damage.
Right. Disaster recovery, or DR, that's the rebuilding plan. It's how you get everything back up and running after the fire is out.
So IR is the immediate reaction, DR is the long-term fix.
You got it. And these plans shouldn't be some 100-page binder collecting dust. For a small business, it should just be a simple checklist. Who's in charge? What data do we recover first? How do we communicate if email is down?
And if you already have a plan,
You have to review it. Your tech changes, your vendors change. A plan from last year might be totally useless today.
so we have these 6 solid resolutions.
Yeah.
But for a busy business owner, doing all this consistently is the hard part. The article talks about how a managed service provider, an MSP like CDML, helps automate all of this. How does that work?
An MSP basically removes that manual check burden. For device health, for instance, they automate the patching and monitoring. You don't have to remember to click update. It just happens.
And for backups?
They automate the backups and the verification tests to make sure the data can be restored. You just get a report saying it's all good.
So the MSP becomes the consistent checker that the business owner just doesn't have time to be.
Exactly. For access reviews, they can run automated reports that flag old accounts or users with too many permissions, prompting you to take a look. It shifts the work from manual searching to making a simple yes or no decision.
It's about letting systems do the heavy lifting.
That's the key takeaway. You combine smart processes like those IR and DR plans with automation. That's how technology finally does its job quietly in the background as a support, not a source of constant stress.
That quiet consistency really is the theme. The habits that make the biggest difference are the ones that happen reliably, letting you focus on your business, not on putting out tech fires.
And if you want to dive deeper into all this, you can find the full article, 6 for 2026, Simple Tech Resolutions for the New Year, on the CDML website. They put out new blog posts every Tuesday and Thursday, so there's always fresh insight.
Visit https://cdml.com and subscribe to our blog. We really hope this deep dive helps you turn these resolutions into lasting habits. If you like this deep dive, please click the thumbs up button. Till next time.